We should be going. We are going. Okay. Hi, we are here to talk about poetry, but not just poetry in general. Specifically, this poetry. This is a book by G.M. Elinor called Pinch Me, I'm Breathing. And here to discuss it, I have G.M. Elinor. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Tell me what happens with the book. No, that's not good. We'll start again. G.M. Elinor has thousands of followers on Instagram, and she writes this, what do you call it, street poetry.
Yeah.
Writes street poetry, and how I found G.M. Elinor is I saw one of her poems stickered onto a public access, electricity access box in Clonmel, and so that's interesting.
Did you just say stickered?
Stickered, yeah. What do you call it?
Is that a word? I always wondered how to say, like, I stuck something up. Like, can you say stickered? Is that actually a word?
I have no idea. Nouns turn into verbs over time.
Yeah, it would be useful, but yeah.
But yeah, I saw this and I looked her up and I thought they're like short, sharp shocks of emotion, I guess, right?
Like me.
Like you short, sharp shocks of emotion. And you have recently collected some of these street poems, if you want to call them that, into a book called Pinch Me, I'm Breathing.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to start off by pretending like there's some structure to this and asking you, how did you get into the poetry game? Do you know someone at the high levels of poetry, and did they pull strings?
No, it was a long time before anyone started giving a shit about anything I was writing. So,
I think most writers have that experience.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I wrote my first poem when I was like 8 or something, I think.
8?
Yeah, and it's about well, it wasn't very good. I don't even remember what it was, but I just wrote, like, I always used to write, I always had wee journals, and like I have loads of diaries. Like, I have diaries from when I was like that age. So I started writing everything in those, and then the poetry stuff just happened. I just started doing it.
They say poetry is the highest form of literature.
I was telling you, one of my stickers got posted on Reddit.
Yeah.
I got loads of upvotes, which is great. So the people that give all the upvotes didn't write shit, and the people that didn't like it were like, "Oh, this is a nice 2 sentences. That's not a poem, though."
Oh, well, how do you define a poem? What's a poem then?
Exactly, it's like modern art. Like, what's art?
You're basically Banksy, but with words instead of pictures.
Yeah.
You know, they say poetry is the highest form of literature, and I've tried it. I've tried writing in lots of different styles, but poetry is the most difficult for me because I think it's like the violin. If you learn to play the piano and you get it wrong, it's oh no. But if you're learning to play the violin and you get it wrong, there's dogs waking up blocks away, you know. And I think if you're writing a short story and you get a few words wrong, no one's going to notice. But in poetry, everything has to be bam. You know, you can't fucking phone it in.
No, I disagree. I think that if you overthink it, then it becomes contrite.
The only reason that's true is because if you've done the work. Don't overthink it. Only works if you're competent. If you have a basic grounding in the skills that you're not overthinking.
See, I never thought about it. I suppose it's hard for me because sometimes I get people.
You do the work.
But like people ask me, I really want to get into writing stuff. How do I do it? And I feel really bad because all I can say is just write everything down that's in your head and then put it together in a way that if someone else read it, they would understand what you're feeling when you write it. Whatever.
I just explained all art.
Yeah.
Including paintings and drama and everything.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get somebody to understand what you have in your head in the hopes that they might relate to it in some way.
Yeah, but it is like, and that's why I kind of found it a wee bit hard about like putting my stuff out there properly. People will interpret things in their own way. So I remember Lewis Capaldi. I know you hate him. He had a song, and everyone.
I do not hate Lewis Capaldi. Where did you get that from?
You said a while ago you didn't like him.
No, I didn't like him. Not in the sense that I don't like him. In the sense that I don't like him. Not that I don't like him.
Right. Okay. Well, he wrote a song about his granny dying, and everyone thought it was about an ex-girlfriend. So everyone was like posting on TikTok about like their exes and lost love and stuff, and it was about his granny. So it's that kind of stuff where might write something, and I used to get paranoid in a way, like how someone would interpret it, and especially when I think I brought the book out, more people knew about it who knew me. So I'd be writing something going, is this person going to think this is about them? Is this person going to think this is about something else? That. And then you kind of have to get away from that. You kind of have to go, well, look, once you put it out there, you have to let it go, and it belongs to whoever's reading it.
Once you've done something, it's not yours anymore. You just have to let it go, and people are going to come to their own conclusions, and you have to find some way to not connect yourself to that.
Yeah, I think that's why it's really important with this kind of stuff. When it's really deep, kind of emotional stuff, it gets into the dark and twisties a little bit. But I think the reason it took me so long to do the book is because that was really putting it out there, and you have to be in a place when you put it out there that the stuff that you're putting out isn't stuff that is raw with you anymore. No matter what anybody would say about it, it's not going to affect you in a kind of gut punch away. Like you're not in that place when you wrote as you were when you wrote it. If you're going to write about things that are personal to you, that you should only do it when you have moved past it.
But do you find that writing these things helps a lot in that process?
Yes, the time I started doing stickers, I was a lot of the way there. I don't mind people reading these things, but then I had a bunch of other things that I thought, don't know if I want someone to read that yet. And then when I got to the book, there was a lot more. Most of it I was happy for people to read, and a lot of it at the start I was writing to myself. It's not I was writing to other people, like as it went on and I knew people were reading it, I was trying to be not like positive thinking, I fucking hate that, but just to kind of say, if anyone, with the stickers, I wanted if anyone saw it, like especially that first one, You're Not There Yet, like
Yeah, I think that's your most famous one. Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted if anyone saw that to know that, like, I used to walk around Dublin at night. I used to love walking around at night. I'm the hardest city, and there's so many people and so much stuff going on, and you just feel so stuck in your head and your own. And I felt like if I put these up, if someone sees this, they're going to know that this isn't like a forever thing. I know it's shit now, but it's going to be cool. So that kind of like.
I think everybody can relate to that. I don't know. I couldn't hack it anyway. I couldn't hack it the poetry. It has to be good.
What's good though?
Good is like, I don't mean good in the sense of that other people like it. I stopped worrying about that years ago. I mean good in the sense that I'm happy with it, and I can say, okay, I can put this out into the world, and I can say, yes, I've written a poem.
But you're a perfectionist that way as well.
I don't know, because I write articles and I'm happy with those, and all the articles I've written, even if everybody hates them, I am happy with them. They're exactly what I wanted.
Do you think that's different though, because it's not as tied to you? It's if you put it out there and someone doesn't like it, would you take that more personally than if someone didn't like one of your articles?
No.
Okay.
I think if it got to the point where I put it out,
okay.
I think I'd be able to externalize all that.
Yeah.
The one poem that I was happy with. I don't care if people don't like that. It doesn't matter to me at all. At some point, you decided to set up an Instagram.
So when I did the stickers first, I didn't even have an Instagram. So like I just thought, oh, I'll add a hashtag and see does anyone look at them. And then a few people put them up on Instagram and Facebook even, and I was like, damn, I can't reply to these people. I don't want to.
You put a hashtag on your stickers.
It's on all of them under the name.
Yeah, but before you had anywhere to put the hashtag.
On the stickers.
Yeah, but you didn't have like any social media at
that point. They
still use that hashtag.
Yeah, it was
That's
cool.
Fantastic.
And then I thought, right, I'm gonna start an account. I just did it so that I could kind of reply to people, and because I wanted to say thank you, like for taking a photo of my sticker.
I guess you still get hits on the hashtag then.
People don't use it as much now. At the start, they used it a lot.
The hashtag is echo, right?
Yeah, but I hashtag a lot of my own stuff too.
That's a good hashtag for your particular brand of poetry, I think.
When I did it first, I thought I was going to call the book that, but then it didn't feel right to call the book that by the time I did the book, because it felt like two kind of different stages. That felt like the start of everything, and then it just felt like that represented my street poetry, like you said, and I wanted the book to be not completely different, but it's a different thing.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Pinch Me, I'm Breathing is a fantastic title for any book.
I just came into my head one day, like completely and then I Googled it to make sure no one else is using it. Like, has anyone else come up with this?
I had to stop Googling things because I just Google jokes and things I came up with.
When you Google jokes you make, you find that people have come up with them already.
I Google it and someone else has come up with it. So I stopped Googling and now I'm this creative genius.
Yeah, but that is a compliment because that means that your jokes aren't shit. Like other people are coming up with them too.
All the comedy brains are kind of the same after a while. They kind of go the same way. Just getting back to the poetry thing, I find poetry fascinating, and I buy lots of poetry books. I have a whole poetry section there. Why would you not? You never thought about doing stories or prose or anything like that?
A lot of it is prose, like it's free verse. I mean, I'm sure if I tried to sit down and write something like that, I could, but I wouldn't want to because I'm literally just writing what's in my head and it just sort of comes together as I write it. And then you get the raw version. And then there's the whole spoken word thing. But I did a spoken word thing with Dara Locke and he did the music for it. Yeah, that was nice. Well, no, it wasn't spoken word. It was just like a recital, really. But the spoken word thing, I feel like isn't really me. It's a different skill completely. You have to write it in a specific way if you're going to perform.
Yeah, those people sound like Baptist preachers.
Well, I think they're more like musicians than I am. It's a performance.
It's like almost like rap music, like hippity hoppity.
Yeah. So that's not really me. I think you have to write stuff with that in mind if you want to do that.
Whatever works, right?
Yeah.
And how are you doing right now? Is there enough misery in your life right now to sustain the poetry thing?
So the thing about these, I have so many. So like I recycle them. So
wow.
I have lots of stuff that I just repost. I might type it out a bit differently because my stuff at the start when I was posting it probably wasn't as formatted as well or as well presented. Also, it's not difficult to draw on stuff. You just go back to a place in your head and like you remember how you felt and
misery.
Yeah, misery, but it's not misery. It's not all misery. It's good in order to do that because you can reflect on the misery, but you're doing it from a place of okay, but it's okay now. It's good because you can reflect back on it, but because you're writing it from that place, you're able to connect with people who are there and go, okay, I see you and I feel all of this and it doesn't feel fake. I want someone to read it and for me not to be saying, hey, it's all sunshine and fucking raisins. It's going to be grand tomorrow.
Sunshine and raisins.
Raisins. Rainbows. Yeah, like it's not going to be grand tomorrow. It might not be grand next week, but it's not going to be shit every day forever. And that is my core thing behind it all. Is like, this is not some positive thinking bullshit. I'm not trying to trick anyone. I'm not telling everyone everything is okay. I can't fix anything. It's just you're not alone in your head.
But it's not just that. I read your book. It's not just everything's going to be okay eventually. It won't be shit forever. There's another kind of underlying thing going through the whole thing, which is be kind to yourself.
Yeah, but that was me. I guess
everybody needs to hear that these days.
Yeah, it's easy to be hard on yourself. I found I was almost harder on myself because I was recognizing my behaviors and I was looking at myself and I was being very critical, and I still do that. You can almost be as hard on yourself at that point because you have your expectations of yourself go up. So when you're in a really shitty headspace, your expectations are kind of, you're just feeling shit, and like when you start to feel a bit better, your expectations kind of go up a bit. So then when you start to have a shit day again, your expectations are still up there, but you're down in the opposite direction and you feel even shitter. So it's just, that go easy thing. And having to tell yourself, because I think a lot of the problems I had, I think people have in general, is you desperately need someone to tell you it's okay. Sometimes it doesn't matter how shit of a person that is. It doesn't matter if they're good for you or not. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I'm this sounds like relationship counseling now.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, but there's a lot of my stuff is about relationships. So it's it was like a journey of being kind to yourself and being able to tell yourself it'll be okay and not needing someone to tell you. So that when you get to the point that you want someone in your life, that it's because you want them there.
That sounds familiar. Not that I'd need someone to tell me okay, but the idea that I'm with someone who's cool, well, maybe I'm not so bad because this person likes me.
Yeah, you have to get to a point where you're able to understand yourself, and if you can't, then you're going to listen to everything someone you care about tells you about yourself because they care about you, you think in your head.
Have you ever been contacted by an irate loved one saying, is this about me?
No. So no one knew, like, until the last...
How do you keep something like this locked down?
Yeah, so I was doing the stickers. It's only in the last year that I even told my brother and sister. Well, you knew for a while. But, I didn't tell anybody close to me. I didn't tell really anybody.
Thanks. You knew, but I didn't tell anybody close to me.
Yeah, well, at the time, I didn't really know. It was hard to do that. I don't think I was in the place for a wee while to do that because I didn't want to do it until I was absolutely cool with it. And I didn't want to do it until, okay, I'll tell this person, and if they go and tell 10 more people. So until I could kind of take that risk with it, until I knew it's not a big deal if that happens, and I couldn't really tell anybody because people talk. And then there was no getting out of it. Now in the book came out, of course I wanted to tell people. I told my auntie, who's, my auntie's like my mum, and I told her, and then she was like, oh, you have to send a copy to this auntie and that auntie. And I'm going, Jesus Christ. And they all, like, I've sent them all now and they all love it. Like, she called me the other day and told me one of my auntie's husbands, my uncle, was sitting reading it with his tea, and he never reads books ever. And this is a freaking culty man, and he's sitting reading my book and he loves it.
But since you have revealed yourself, as it were, to various family members, has anyone come up to you and said, what the hell is this? Is this about me?
No. So there's a few other people that knew, like, there's some friends that know. There were actually friends that knew before family. Did anybody? No. And even in my last relationship, like, he never asked, like, who's this about, or is this a new one, or is this an old one? Like, he just knew it was just art, and it's just what I do, and didn't really...
If you're a writer or an artist, because you figure out what happens, you take things from your life, and then you squish it around a bit, and then you make art. Sometimes it's not a commentary on the thing that you're squishing up at all.
Sometimes it's not like a straight thing about one person. It's like a mixture of 2 or 3 different people in my head, and it just comes together in one thing. Yeah, no one has asked really, but I was worried about that a little bit at the start. Like,
It's a danger with any sort of personal art or any art that means something that people in your personal life are going to be like,
I mean, they're not all bad, the ones I write about, like relationships.
no, I'm just making fun of you. No, they're not.
Yeah, like there was ones I typed out one for one of my exes. I need a muse for my business. Don't need like a relationship, I just need a muse for about 2 or 3 weeks. Please break my heart and do it as drastically as possible.
You published this book by the avenue of self-publishing. Can you tell us a bit about that?
It was good and it was terrifying. The way I did it was called Kindle Direct Publishing, but it's not just for Kindle. And if you have the patience, you can do it all yourself. Whatever font sizes will fit and all that shit.
Yeah.
I don't really know a whole lot about that and I didn't want to do any of that. But I knew what I wanted the book to look like and I knew what I wanted the cover to look like. I got onto a girl on Upwork and I found a girl who works in publishing and she was in Brooklyn. She was charging like hourly.
Sorry, just for people who are unfamiliar with Northern Ireland, she said hourly.
She charged about like a seventh of what a quote I got from this Irish person. So she was brilliant, and she became like a friend throughout the whole thing. I mean, I had so many changes, and she was always sound. So the proofreading, if you're ever doing a book, hire and pay for a fucking proofreader because I did not, and it cost me my sanity. I did get friends.
Those friends are
Yeah, friends. Yeah, but that I read it myself as well about fucking 50 times over, and I missed a few things, and then I got an author copy sent to me. So basically, when you publish the book, Amazon can send you like a proof copy, and you can check. So they sent me the proof copy, looked over it, seemed fine. I went and ordered like 20 books, and then I found more mistakes. And there are wee small mistakes that people probably wouldn't even notice that I noticed. And then I had to go and take it off. That's a good thing about publishing on Amazon. You can change it anytime. So like you just unpublish it, you can change the book, upload it again. So yeah, that was the whole. And then with Amazon, I had a problem because sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't work, but they don't deliver in Ireland. So they'll only deliver them to the UK and every other country in the whole fucking world, apart from Ireland, but they will deliver them to you. So magically, they can deliver you the books, the author, so you can pre-order as many as you want. They can order them to you, but not to people on Amazon who buy them in Ireland. So I got onto them on the chat thing, and I just wouldn't let it go. So now they're still investigating it, but it kind of worked out better. If I order them myself, I just pay the cost price for the book. When I sell them, I just resell them myself. I make more money.
And you don't just sell them on your site. You sell them in some bookshops in Dublin too. Is that correct?
So that happened. That was mental. The girl I know told me, "Oh, you should try and get it into the Wine and Stare because I got my book in there and they're really sorry about that." I just sent them a message on Instagram and they're like, "Oh yeah, leave us in a few. You must leave it sale." I'm like, I did that, and then Kate Dickey is like this actress. She's lovely, and she knew a bookshop in Glasgow that would take them. So I messaged them and they took a few.
Will I read out what Kate Dickey said about your book?
Yeah, sure.
This is what Kate Dickey said about your poems. I have loved GM Elinor since I first stumbled across a sticker of hers in Dublin in 2019 when I was there filming The Green Knight. Her words made my knees buckle and instant tears flow. They are like getting a big hug from a dear pal. I have avidly followed her on Instagram since, and I've stuck her stickers of beautiful poems around Glasgow too. I'm so excited for this book to come out. She's very special indeed.
Yeah, so people like Kate, I mean, you don't realize how sound people are. I thought, right, I'll just message a few people, go, would you like a book? Hoping if they liked it, they would post it on their stories or whatever. Dave Moore got back to me, Today FM. Freaking Imelda May posted one on her stories. Lorraine Keane got back to me. All these people that had these big followings were replying to me going, yeah, I love your stuff. I love to read it, I love to support you. Yeah, but you don't think people are just sound. You don't realize how supportive people are of independent.
People are sound, I think, in general.
But yeah, Kate is lovely. She's been really supportive and everything. So
are you doing most of your sales now from your own site?
Yeah, I only left a few into the Wine Star one. There's a place called Ernesto's Cafe in Rathmines. They took a few as well, but mostly on my website because I think most people are just coming from my Instagram.
And on your website, you will sign those books?
Yeah, they're all signed and the stickers are on my site too. Cool. That's how they get put up like around the world and stuff because people buy them.
Go to link to the site below.
Thank you. So yeah, that's the self-publishing, but it's as hard as you want it to be. So basically, it can take a while, but you can do it on your own. If you're willing to spend a bit of money to get someone to help you out, it makes it a lot easier.
And if you feel okay about messaging people with larger followings?
Yeah, I mean, it might spit out itself, but it kind of depends on what following you already have. And Self-publishing.
That's all we have to say about self-publishing.
Yes, but if anyone is thinking about it, you should do it, because I was thinking about it for ages, and you build it up in your head to be this big, massive thing. Once I kind of committed to it and said, right, I'm going to get this done, the time between I said I was going to do it and when it was done was like less than a month.
Yeah, maybe in general, don't wait for the right time to do something. Just do it now.
Yeah, because the right time for me probably would have been before Christmas, not freaking January. But yeah, or at least in January. Yeah, everybody buy it now for next Christmas. Get all your presents early.
So I guess that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
And we will say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for waving. I'm also waving. You just can't see it.
Okay. Well.